John.
Now, that makes a good point, but I find it hard to believe there would be any coach in the league who wouldn't put Michael Jordan's name on their ballot.
I would be shocked. And he means that. He means that much. I mean, guys aren't going to write his name down just because he's Michael. They recognize the job he's done in Washington.
Jalen Rose tries to break free. And Laettner and Jordan were there. See what Michael Jordan has done in All-Stars. There's only been one triple-double in All-Star history, and that was it. 1997, 14, 11, and 11. Rose grabs a double team, now backs out of it. Tries to drive around Jordan. Everyone seems to be having a tough time gripping the ball. Then Larry Hughes loses it out of bounds.
Well, that was Michael swatting down at the ball. Jalen Rose did a great job penetrating middle, but he's a lefty, and you have to remember, if he's going to get that shot up, he's bringing that ball to Michael Jordan's wheelhouse. Michael just swatted down at that ball and got a piece of it.
And then Larry Hughes is unable to corral it. Looks like it just slipped off his fingertips. You can see that Chicago has started extremely cold in this game. Rose swings it to Marshall. Hassel with it, wants to break down Stackhouse, comes in, tough shot. Misses everything, but Donyell Marshall chases it down. And whoa! Crawford from deep. 3 is too deep. Larry Hughes wants to run. Ahead to Stackhouse. Pulls up. Short with the shot. Crawford had the rebound right to Haywood. He gets blocked by Chandler. And away we go the other way. Hassel now, right at Jordan. You don't think you can guard anymore? How about moving the feet there?
Jalen Rose was calling for that bounce pass. He was on the opposite end of the floor. Hassel just didn't see him.
Larry Hughes with it now.
That last possession, Larry Hughes did something that I really liked. He gave that ball up in the open court to Jerry Stackhouse. He wasn't concerned about the assist. He was trying to get Stackhouse the ball in a spot where he could do something with it. Too many times point guards want to hold on to that ball, give the guy the pass at the last minute so they can get that assist. Larry Hughes was setting up Jerry Stackhouse. He's letting him do his thing.
Jordan now. Jalen Rose stays with him. Laettner dumps it down to Haywood. Right at Donyell Marshall. Had to sky it to get something there. And Haywood again, then misses the dunk. Everyone's a little apprehensive tonight for whatever reason. And Chandler knocks it down for 2 for the Bulls.
Yeah, for whatever reason, everybody's apprehensive. And Michael's in the house. These guys, these young players just saw a 3-minute-plus standing ovation.
Good point. They're sitting there wondering, someday will I go out on top like that?
A lot of work.
Stackhouse. Right at Chandler. Runs out of real estate. Hughes. Boy, the shooting is just looking extremely horrendous early on. Crawford back out to Hassel now. Swings it to Marshall. Has an open look at 3. Launches it and buries the shot. Too much time.
Well, he was in rhythm when he caught the ball, went up with it. Larry Hughes on the other end was not in rhythm. He kind of caught that pass unexpectedly and went up with it.
And Washington wants a timeout as the Chicago Bulls have an early lead on Michael Jordan's final night here in Chicago, playing on the floor that he helped make famous. The ovation lasted well over 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Had Michael Jordan not finally taken the mic, the ovation may still be going as he thanked his faithful.
Thank you. It's truly been a pleasure. You guys have given me great pleasure to play here in the city of Chicago. I love y'all. Still support the Chicago Bulls. Thank you for support over the years. I love y'all. Thank you very much.
Well, the other interesting thing is that Michael still lives in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so if he were not playing for the Wizards, as well as having part-time ownership in the Wizards, he probably would be just a huge Chicago Bulls fan.
Well, you know, it stands out to me when I see that ovation, John, is one, I'm just pleased that the people treated him, they treat him with so much respect because he deserves it, and they haven't forgotten how great Michael Jordan was and is. And secondly, how do you let a guy like that lead your organization? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, that's one of the things that we talked about for years to come. How many the Bulls might have won if first Michael Jordan didn't retire the first time and go back to playing baseball, and second, had the Bulls not been broken up after they won their 6th championship. If Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and such should have been or could have been kept around, you wonder if they had 1 or 2 more championships in them.
Or 3 or 4. And we were talking before the game about the handful of great players in this league now and in the past that haven't won championships because of one man. I mean, Michael's playing with 1 on his team, and he has 1 on the bench. I mean, Patrick and Charles Oakley, those guys, who knows, they maybe have a couple championships if Michael isn't playing.
Jalen Rose takes it right at the glass, comes up short, gets it back and drops it off the iron and in. You're right. Imagine some of the players who played during Jordan's era saying, yeah, I was a great NBA player. I had thousands of points. John Paxson, of course, played with Michael Jordan, part of the championships here. Well, Grandpa, how many championships did you win? Well, none.
None. You can be a Hall of Famer, but if you're around in the Jordan eras, I mean, look at, well, I mean, you can just go down the list. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Patrick,
Charles Barkley,
Oak, and if Michael doesn't quit and play baseball, you might add Akeem Olajuwon to that list. And for that matter, if he continues to play, you might add David Robinson to that list that year that we won it. So as far as I'm concerned, you've never seen a player that's been so dominant. He's kept so many players from winning championships, but yet he's won championships for a lot of different players.
That's right. The league owes him a lot. And we'll put you on that list as well. If somebody who might never have had a championship.
Exactly.
If Michael hadn't been sitting out. That's Curry, who, of course, is the other second-year player out of high school. He came in as Chandler went to the bench. And Kwame Brown comes in, who was the #1 pick a year ago. It was the banner year for high school players. They're all still trying to find themselves. Rick Brunson drops it down to Donyell Marshall, gets it back, swings it back outside. Jalen Rose is open, comes up short with the 3. Jordan ahead to Stackhouse. Flips it back to Brown. Style points for Stack, I'm not sure.
He didn't know where he was. Just flipping that ball up.
Nice pass this time down to Laettner on the baseline, and he puts it home.
Christian Laettner quietly has been solid for this team. He's taken the starting role from the younger players, and he's been a consistent scorer, a guy who's going to go out there, play defense and rebound, and do the little things for you, not make a whole lot of mistakes.
Yeah, Laettner is probably one of the unsung players in the league this year. Brunson down to Marshall.
Really has done a nice job.
Marshall loses the handle with some help from Laettner and just beats the shot clock. And Donyell will tell us, yeah, that's how I did it in practice. I diagrammed it that way, but I think he's trying to beat the clock any way he could.
Yeah, nice and easy. A little curveball off the glass.
Brunson, who, of course, is a great defender. This is just his 4th game back. 4th game of the year, and Eddie Curry drops that one home.
Curry showed some strength going up, and the ball got knocked out of his hands as he went up. But you have to love Brunson playing that D at half court. You can't get lackadaisical with the basketball.
One word for why you expect great D out of Brunson: temple. You don't play for John Chaney unless you play some defense.
You have to be tough to play for Don Chaney, that's for sure. He's going to test you mentally.
Jordan turns a little deep with that shot. Larry Hughes almost had it. Brunson ahead to Hassel. Stackhouse picks him up. Jalen Rose puts it on the floor this time before swinging it to Donyell Marshall. Stackhouse past him. Brunson in for a closer look into the corner. Hassel from the baseline rattles down and out. Kwame Brown clears. Stackhouse on the floor driving at Hassel and a charge. Dick Bavetta in there quickly with the call. And a Washington Wizards trailing the Bulls 19-17 on Jordan's night.
Right now.
There's certain things in life that you can stop, and there's certain things in life that can't be stopped. Let's go.
Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. Oh! Absolutely awesome. The Bulls win it! They win it!
And since the Michael Jordans were broken up, the Jordan-heirs, whatever you want to call them, you can see the team has absolutely struggled. You see the draft picks, and the team is still rebuilding. And in fairness to the Chicago Bulls, they are a very young team, so there's reason to believe there's a lot of talent on the team that perhaps will have a bright future, but it's been nothing like the championship year.
Well, when the quote was, that organizations win